Revelation 21, verses 1 to 7. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride, adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people. And God himself shall be with them, and be their God. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying. Neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. And he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, Write, for these words are true and faithful. And he said unto me, It is done. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of the water of life freely. He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. And I will be his God, and he shall be my son. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.
So this has been incredibly hard to come to it. I'm one of the students who went to PSEC, and I went to PSEC just an ordinary boy, and I remember walking into Sister Akyeampong's office and how she just accepted me, welcomed me, and helped me so much. Sister Akyeampong. Mrs. Akyeampong was more than a teacher to me. She was a mother who taught me the beauty of words, the voice of encouragement, even from a million miles, and the always unwavering smile of welcome, no matter what. I met her when students lived in fear of our professors. A timid little boy with 1,000 questions, a fragile ego. There she was, with the biggest smile, the warmest welcome, and the most infectious ray of hope I have ever seen. I had pages and pages that I'd been afraid to show to the world. Terribly shy, openly vulnerable, ready for an onslaught of judgment. Instead, she stayed up all night, reading every single page, every single line. She turned my desolate words, my scrambled thoughts into a medley of gold. This is the Mrs. Akyeampong we gather here tonight to celebrate. She who breathed confidence into a destitute child. She who never judged, but always had an encouraging word. She who turned young men and girls into phenomenal men and women. How does a young poet bid farewell when the muse is gone? What dirge does the choir sing when the conductor is no more? On what planet does one bid farewell to she who was larger than life? On what blazing comet do we send our wishes to one who outshone the stars? I therefore do not have the words, nor honestly the desire to say a final goodbye. And so, I come in celebration of an angel that the heavens have called back home, to tell you my story, which is but a small piece of so many such stories, of a mother whose love was so deep, whose smile shone so bright, whose life was so full. Mrs. Akyeampong was more than a teacher to me. Thank you.
of the late Mrs. Sally Akyeampong by Mrs. Adelaide Nanabe. Charlotte Sarah Akyeampong, née Newton, was my younger sister. She was born on 27 February 1946 in Cape Coast. She was the fourth child of Robert and Betsy Newton. Robert and Betsy named their child after both of their paternal grandparents. Charlotte after her paternal grandfather Charles, and Sarah after her paternal grandmother Sarah. Our paternal grandmother was the matriarch of the Newton family. She was a grand lady who was commonly called a Rabba Sarah. So the baby named after her was also called a Rabba Sarah or a Rasa. Later, however, she became known simply as Sally. Sally was a beautiful baby who soon became a bubbly little girl. She was eager, bright-eyed, and a quick learner, with an infectious smile. At that time, there were only the four of us children: Ebo, our older brother, Irabna, who came after me, and then Sally, and we all lived in the big old house in Cape Coast with Mama and Papa. Mama was very proud of her girls. She always dressed us alike and encouraged us to do things together. Of the four of us, Irabna was closer to Ebo in temperament, quiet and rather shy, whereas Sally was a bit more like me, more chatty and outgoing. We all know that Sally grew up to be a great teacher, a good storyteller, and an excellent writer. This, however, did not happen by accident. As children, our bedroom was littered with books. Like most mothers of her generation, Mama spent a lot of time teaching us nursery rhymes and telling us the usual fairy tale. Papa took this a step further. He would gather us around whenever he came down to Cape Coast from Accra, where he was working, and tell us stories from Greek and Roman mythology. He told us about Cyclops, the one-eyed giant who was blinded by Odysseus, about Theseus and Perseus and many others. How we loved those stories. One high point in those literary beginnings was the day Papa brought home a special edition of Lamb's Tales from Shakespeare. This was an abridged version of Shakespeare's comedies, all done in large print with colorful pictures. And I remember well the first story he told us from the book. It was The Tempest. The day was a high point because the stories in the book were different from our usual fairy tales and full of unexpected adventure. I had become very fond of reading at this time, and so after Papa had gone back to Accra, I would sit everybody around and read to them from the book, just as we had done. We continued to tell our usual Anansi stories, but we became captivated by Shakespeare. At St. Monica's Primary School, Sally was in her element. She enjoyed the stories she learned in English literature, and she won prizes in English on Speech Day. In secondary school, she distinguished herself even more, and none of us was surprised when she decided to study English at the university. On leaving university, Sally went to teach at Wesley Girls, her old school, and then at Akyeampong Secondary, and finally at Presbyterian Boys Secondary School, where she remained until her retirement some 30 years later. It was while at the University of Legon that Sally met the love of her life, Daniel Afezi Akyeampong. I met Dan for the first time when he turned up on my doorstep one summer afternoon in London. He was good looking, courteous, and funny. I liked him straight away. He had brought a message from Sally, a letter with a list of accessories that she wanted for her forthcoming wedding: stockings, garters, ribbons, and all sorts. 2 weeks later, Dan came back to say goodbye and collect Sally's parcel. I wish them the very best for the future. Dan, the mathematician and physicist who liked everything to be methodical and precise, and Sally, the teacher and poet, who liked to dream and use her imagination, proved that opposites really do attract and work well together in the right environment. Sally and Dan loved, respected, and appreciated each other, and the two of them created a happy life in Legon. They had 3 children, Paco, Kofi Nyama, and Akyeampong, now better known with much affection as Pastor Admire. They had a very enjoyable and fulfilling life together, and I am sure my good wishes that summer afternoon and those of all friends and family set them on their way to a blissful married life. The Akyeampong home was more than just a family home. It became what I can only refer to as a mofreturo, because Dan and Sally gladly opened their doors to their nephews and nieces. Abadeba, Abna, Mamiefua, Ninoy, Efe, and Debo, to name only a few, were all the children who passed through those wide doors and who flourished and achieved outstanding success in their own lives. Writing this biography, so many memories of Sally have come flooding back, especially memories from her early married life, because I think that was the time we saw each other most. I can see Sally and Dan in their idyllic place in Little Legon, with their 2 dogs, Prince and Percy, and Sally tending her little flower garden in the front of the house. I remember visiting Ghana when Nyama was a toddler. He was a beautiful little boy, but rather small for his age, because he did not eat much. I remember the 2 of us sitting at Sally's kitchen table creating all kinds of recipes to tempt him. The problem was that half the time, we ended up eating all those concoctions ourselves because Nyama would not have any of it. On those rare occasions when he did eat, we clapped and cheered as if he had done something extraordinary. When Sally first came to stay with us in London, it was to recuperate from surgery in Trieste, but it turned out to be a wonderful holiday, which she, Penny, and I thoroughly enjoyed. Then she came back a few years later, this time with all her 3 children. It turned out to be a good time for all the young cousins to get to know each other. Apart from her 3 and my own children, Penny brought her 2, and brother Pamela came down from Nottingham with his 3. It was a very happy time. I remember Joe, my husband, taking numerous photographs of all of us in the garden, photos which captured for us forever the beauty of that glorious summer we spent together. One other fun memory is the day I found out that Sally loved football. Dan was out, and Sally suggested we watch football on our television. It was a match between Accra Hearts of Oak and Asante Kotoko. Up till then, I had no idea that she was interested in football, let alone that she was a Hearts fan. Hearts were playing away, and initially Kotoko seemed to be dominating. But as the game progressed, Hearts came back into it, and that set Sally off. She became very animated, bobbing up and down in her chair and shouting, "Hearts of Oak, never say die." I want to add, Mommy would never die in our hearts. I think the game ended in a draw, but I seem to remember how he had both enjoyed it, especially how excited my sister had been. Sally was a very positive person. She did not believe in failure, and she used to think that with hard work and focus, you could achieve anything. Akyeampong used to tell me about the encouragement she received from her mother and how it has helped her in her life. When Akyeampong was ready to go to university, she visited us in Northampton, and I remember her telling me, "Mommy always says, Akko, whatever you want, you must reach for it. It is no use saying I nearly made it, because nearly there is not being there." I like that saying very much, and I repeat it often to my own grandchildren. Outside of her family, Sally worked hard as a teacher and a house mistress. At Presec, she ran the debating society and also the drama group, which she took on an exchange program to the United States. I think that apart from her life as a mother and a teacher, Sally's greatest achievement was as a playwright. Altogether, she published 8 plays, and I am aware that she was working on a few more that are yet to be completed. All her works have received popular acclaim, but speaking for myself, the favorite is The Search. The Search is an adaptation of Chaucer's The Partner's Tale, and the latest edition came out in 2018. In this play, Sally uses simple dialogue and music to explore the fortunes of 2 sets of characters, 3 young unemployed men on one side and 3 young girls on the other. She describes how the men's hope of a better future is suddenly dashed and how they set out to avenge their prospective benefactor's death, only to end up dying themselves. She then contrasts the men's fate with the fortunes of the 3 young ladies who set out with the hope of finding true love and succeed in finding it. In The Search, Sally seems to be posing the perennial questions. In this life, do we really get what we wish for? And this is what we wish, and is what we wish for always good for us? The Search shows a profound understanding of human nature and demonstrates how greed and selfishness can turn good fortune into disaster. I cannot quantify the profound influence Sally had on the lives of her students. I will leave that to them because I am sure some of them would like to pay their own individual tributes to her. But I cannot finish without talking about one particular incident that I witnessed. Something that showed me how deeply Sally cared for the welfare of her students. I was on a visit to Ghana, and I went to see her at Preserve one afternoon. In her office was a boy curled up on her sofa, clearly unwell and in agony. "Sickle cell crisis," she said as I walked in. "I have asked him to come here whenever the pain got too much for him." Then as I watched, she propped the boy up gently, mopped his brow with a wet handkerchief, and offered him a cup of water. "He needs a lot of hydration, you know, when he's suffering a crisis," she explained. I was very touched by the scene, but I remember that she had always been a very caring, loving person, and that what I had just witnessed was something that came very naturally to her. Sally was virtually the head of our family within Ghana. With Ebo, our elder brother, dead, me living in the UK, and Eva in the US, that responsibility fell on her shoulders. It was a responsibility she accepted willingly. She always fully supported all our other siblings, Jojo, Kakra, Teria, and Eresi in whatever they did. Like her parents and her brothers and sisters, Sally was a staunch Anglican and patron of St. Mary the Virgin's Women's Fellowship at Ifwa Anglican Church, Campus. Although she lived in Accra, she followed all the activities with keen interest through her sister Kakra. Then out of the blue, Dan became ill and everything was thrown out of focus. Dan's illness shook Sally to the core, both physically and emotionally. His eventual death left her exhausted and very fragile. Of late, however, and after extensive medical care, she was almost back to the old Sally we knew and loved. A recent visit to the US to see Paco, the grandchildren, and to catch up with Sister Eva left her even more rejuvenated. She came back to Ghana with a promise to visit us in the UK this coming summer, and since then, all our telephone conversations have been about her intended visit. We have been looking forward to seeing her, never dreaming that the end will come so soon. Iraba Sarah, we shall miss you. It is not just us, your family, but many, many other people will miss you. Friends, colleagues, people who had the good fortune to get to know you. For years, your house was like a lighthouse, which lit the paths of many people. Now the light has gone out. and so many people will feel they're lost without you. Irasa, Unyapa, Enapa, Nyakupa, the Mifauti. Shall we stand up and sing the next hymn in Heavenly Lullaby?
Good evening once again. If you're just joining us, thank you for coming. I welcome you on behalf of the Akyeampong family. I welcome one of our pastors who just joined us, Reverend W. Welcome. Thank you for coming as well. In due course, you're giving us a word of exaltation and encouragement. Thank you very much. I know there's a whole lot of pre-seconds here. We'll have our time to demonstrate some love for Mrs. Akyeampong. This is a major, major loss, not only for the Akyeampong family. We definitely give you our condolences, but we also suffer a good measure of pain because of what Mrs. Akyeampong has done for pre-seconds. I should tell you, 3 decades of teaching spans various generations. And if you think back, we're talking about great intellect and leadership of our country. And so this woman has actually nurtured many students, including my good self. I see one of our presidents of president of the North American Association here, Sam Ado. In due course, we'll hear Sam speak as well, to give a little tribute to Mr. Akyeampong if he so pleases. Everyone who will speak, I know, will say very nice things about her. But if you never knew Mrs. Akyeampong, in general, it's true. When we go to funerals, we say nice things about people. Our culture says, don't speak ill of the dead. So we're very nice. But I can tell you, from the poem you heard to the biography, this is a spectacular, remarkable person. Not teacher, not just mother, but as an individual. And I stand in awe of Mrs. Akyeampong. If you're thinking, well, she's dead, so you're saying nice things about her. No. There's some people you reserve what you want to say. And there's a way to say things. But I have no reservation about the goodness of the heart of whom we come to celebrate tonight. And so I kind of want you to dig deep into you and draw that love, because I want us to sort of encompass the family that has lost this remarkable woman who gave us this woman. I know Paco is out somewhere. Adrian, you're here. Please stand. We want to thank you. I really want to thank you guys for sharing your mother with us, because I sort of wonder, how was she able to do all the things that she did? Because you know, as you grieve, remember we grieve with you, and let the outpouring of love give you some consolation. Thank you also very much. It's time for tributes. Angelo, this is the only time I've called you Angelo. Official. Right? Sounds better, right? Let's show some love for Akyeampong.
Prologue. Monday, December 30th, 2019, Accra, Ghana. I had a hectic 3 days, and all I wanted to do was relax before returning to the US the next day. Mommy was very happy because I had not stepped foot outside the house all day. About 10 p.m. that evening, I told her I was heading out to a 40th birthday party. And I'll see her the next morning about 10 a.m. So we head out to Osu, pick out some clothing for the grandkids, spend the rest of the day together, and then I'll head over to the airport. We had scheduled the entire New Year's Eve perfectly. But the Lord had other plans. December 31st will never feel the same again. Mom, my cognitive memory goes back as far as 2 years old. I do not recall being an only child, but I remember that no matter where we were, Mommy always liked to show me off. My hair, I used to have a lot of hair. My cheeks, my height, anything, she would just show me up. And I thought I was the only person she was doing that to. Until my brother and my sister were later born, and it was the same thing. And just clicked that. She revered being a mother, being our mother. We grew up with two parents who could be described as divergent. Daddy was a mathematical physicist whose world revolved around science. Mommy was a master of English, poetry, prose, and drama. Daddy relaxed by reading anything related to quantum mechanics. Mommy enjoyed a cup of tea with extra sugar whilst reading Ernest Hemingway. Daddy thought Albert Einstein was the greatest person the world had ever known. Mommy thought he was wrong, that was surely William Shakespeare. Daddy was like a Swiss watch, punctual to a fault. Mommy, Mirbo, 1 5 minutes. But in spite of those differences, they had a lot of similarities. And one was nurturing. They did not nurture just their 3 children, but numerous other children. Mommy was a mother to all our numerous cousins, our friends, and her students, some of whom ended up living with us at some point in time. A few referred to her as Auntie Charlotte or Auntie Sally, but most just called her Mommy. Someone once asked me how I wasn't jealous about all these people referring to your mother as Mommy. I responded by saying, man, that's all I've ever known. Her heart was big enough to accommodate us all. I've never met anyone who had such a knack of making friends as Mommy did. It must have been a God-given talent. She didn't care about your background or your past. One of her favorite sayings was, there's good in everyone. You only have to tap into it. And so you find her sitting out on the porch, having a lengthy conversation with a shoe-shine boy. You find her at the National Theatre, having a chat with a writer or a director, or sitting in her favorite chair at home, talking to any visitor who would have stopped by. And Mommy loves to talk. Correction. Mommy loved to talk. She knew that about herself anyway because we teased her a lot about it. But Mommy just didn't talk verbally. She also did the non-verbal one. I remember waking up early one Sunday morning to watch a Mike Tyson fight. She hardly went to bed early. She preferred writing plays and poems and marking scripts when the house was quiet. So she was our alarm clock on fight nights. I'm still not very sure if she enjoyed watching boxing or she just watched it because she was awake. But she was surely someone you don't want to watch a fight with. She never referred to Tyson as Mike Tyson or Iron Mike or any of his numerous nicknames, no. She called him Michael Tyson. And anytime Tyson threw a punch, Mommy would react as if she had been hit and create all the possible non-verbal sounds that come when somebody has been hit. And then she would go, Michael Tyson, ground shit. To which Michael Tyson, what are you doing? Stop it. Slowly, I began to realize that my favorite time of boxing was the interval between the rounds. Because it was quiet, Mommy wouldn't talk. During my 49 years on earth, I've seen Mommy angry once. It was the long back of 1979. Daddy was away in Italy and he had left us a lot of math homework to do. We knew he was away for 3 months. First week, nothing. Second week, 3, 4 weeks. My brother and I hadn't even done a single page of math work. Our routine was simple. Wake up in the morning, eat breakfast, leave the house, go play football all day long, come back home in the evening, shower, and say we want our food. One evening we got home and she was livid. We were shocked. We had never seen her angry before. Suddenly my brother started laughing, burst out laughing loud at seeing Mommy angry. I stood in the same spot, shocked. We walked away, and that day we vowed we would never, ever make her upset again. And that was it, we never did, never saw her angry. Anyone who knows my mother knows that she was ever smiling. A hydrangea bloom rather than a morning glory. For she did not need the sun to bloom. No matter how dark the day or what challenges she faced, Mommy smiled. How I wish I had taken the time to appreciate her love for flowers. And oh, she did love flowers dearly. She knew the names of almost every flower. During one of her trips to the United States, she asked if she could have a flower bed in front of her house. I said, yeah, of course. So off we went to the local florist. That was the day I realized how expensive flowers were. I only bought flowers on Valentine's Day and I made sure I had a 10% off coupon for it. But I had no coupon for this local florist. But I was excited. It was exciting to see her get something she liked. Because Mommy never asked for anything. Never. Anytime I'll call her to let her know, oh, I'll be in Ghana in 3 weeks. Is there anything in particular you're looking for? She would conveniently switch the topic and it will become, what do I need when I get to Ghana? But if you knew Mommy well, you always knew what she wanted. Chocolates, cookies, Gouda cheese, ice cream. She was a sweet tooth, to say the least. She was a stereotypical fancy woman. Thank God she cut back on all that as she grew older and had to monitor her sugar levels. But still, occasionally, she would sneak in an eclair or a cookie. She would smile and say, "Me first one, you, me first one." Mommy loved to teach and to write. She wrote numerous poems, too many to mention. She wrote poems about everything, and honestly, I mean everything. For our birthdays, poems. Anniversaries, poems. Birth in the family, poems. Sad occasion, poems. On June 13th, 2018, her house was attacked by armed robbers. The armed robbers were in the house for 4 hours. They terrorized everyone, ransacked everything, took away anything they could get their hands on. All Mommy begged was a cup of water. That was from the bedside. It was a very sad and scary moment. I asked myself, what would attract armed robbers to the house of a retired school teacher? I've been to Ghana several times within a short period, and I wondered if that was creating a wrong perception. I never traveled to Ghana again until December of 2019. A few days after that incident, I called Mommy and I asked her, "What are you doing? Are you okay?" What do you think she was doing? Yep, she was writing the poem about the robbery. 8 verses long, but I just took these 2. We can no longer sleep in peace. Our sleep has been shredded into pieces, and nightmares invade our pieces of sleep. We can no longer eat our meals with ease. Our food has lost its tempting taste. Its sweet aroma now dawns a dingy girl. We are startled, puzzled, baffled. Father, touch their hearts and heal their minds, and renew a right spirit within them. Father, deliver them from your demonic forces and fill them with your goodness and love. Father, grant them complete restoration so they can embrace you in sweet adoration as we all sing together your praise and glory now and always. She wrote this for armed robbers. In the summer of 2019, Mommy paid another visit to the United States. One evening, we're sitting down talking, and I asked her if she wanted to go to class with me the next morning. She said, absolutely. So I texted my siblings, and my sister says, you take her to your class. The next thing you know, she will ask you to read a poem in front of your students. I took her to class anyway. She sat in the back, watched me teach, and then I had them do it. So it was getting close to exam, we had some presentations to give. A few minutes before I dismissed the class, I noticed her giving me a signal from the back of the classroom. I moved closer to her and she whispered, can I present one of my poems? I burst out laughing and I said, yeah, absolutely. So Mommy delivered a poem called Rough and Tough Times. Talk about challenging times and how you definitely overcome them. That was the classroom. By the end of her presentation, 1/3 of the class was in tears. Immediately I understood why President Trump did not want any immigrants in the US. Mommy was about to take my job. After class, the students huddled around her to talk to her. I stood back and I must admit I watched admiringly for a distance. But then suddenly I ran to break that huddle because I heard her saying, oh, when Angela was born, no way. I had to step in quickly, otherwise my entire life would have been laid bare before a bunch of eager to listen college students. No. For someone who interacted so much with students, it was surprising that Mommy just could not keep up with technology. Email, iPad, Kindle, no, that was not Mommy. A notebook, pen, newspaper was more of her forte. We set her up on WhatsApp, and we assumed communication would now be even more fun. Wishful thinking. She used every excuse under the sun not to utilize this capability. She took some WhatsApp lessons with some of her grandkids this summer. So I was excited. I knew now she would get it. By the end of that week, I heard the kids singing Ghana City. She had ended teaching them Ghanaian songs instead of learning how to use WhatsApp from them. But the highlight of her summer was yet to come. All three Akyeampong siblings, me, my brother, my sister, their spouses, Belinda, Philippa, William, and all 9 grandkids spent the summer together in Maryland. It was the first time ever that all her children and grandchildren were in the same place at the same time. It was something that he had always wished for, but he passed away months before that could be executed. Immediately after taking that now priceless picture of all of us, Mommy whispered quietly, Daddy, the job you left for me to do has finally been done. I didn't think twice about that statement until the inevitable occurred. Their pride and joy were always the grandkids, the kids they called the next generation. Epilogue. Tuesday, December 31st, 2019. My sister woke me up suddenly at 7:40 a.m. Mommy's not waking up. I quickly grabbed a shirt, wore it inside out, grabbed the car keys, took my wallet, my slippers, and I was in Mommy's room by 7:55. By 8:29 a.m., Legon Hospital delivered the news. I just could not believe it. I looked around the hospital and I was transported into a totally different world. This same hospital, which held so many childhood memories for us, have dealt us a final lasting memory. Death seems so finite. But alas, it's just in the physical world. We know that we get to see you again on the day of resurrection. Mommy, your voice will echo in the memories we hold. Your smile will warm us through stories retold. Your love will touch us in spirit each day. Your life will be treasured in a beautiful way. We mourn you today, we mourn you tomorrow. We mourn you forever, but we are grateful for the love and the memories. You are an exceptional mother. And dear Lord, when our present lives are over, and you plan for us to resurging on earth again, we beg of you to give us back to Charlotte, Sarah, Iraba, and Akyeampong as our mother. Rest in peace, Mommy. Rest in peace.
A wonderful dream holding a promising tomorrow lies broken into 1,000 hopeless pieces. 1,000 tiny, worthless, and useless pieces. Shock and horror throw you down forcefully. Down you remain, rolling and wailing. In your helpless tears, you lie sinking and suffering, thinking your world has come to an end. Sailing smoothly on the highway towards achieving your big-time goal. The goal you have carefully nurtured all these years. Your bright, guiding lights on the highway suddenly go off. In a moment of darkened blindness, you stumble and fall, plunging headlong into an abyss of dismal gloom and sorrow. Down you remain, groaning and mourning, clinging tightly to your pain and misery, thinking your world has come to an end.
Thank you everyone for coming to celebrate with us. This is the hardest thing I've had to do since the passing of my dear daddy some 14 years ago. How am I expected to eulogize you when you're supposed to be here with us so we can continue to show you what you mean to us and how much we love you? Let me start by saying thank you. Thank you for being the world's best husband. Thank you for loving me as if I were your very own. On the very first day I walked into her house, my mother-in-law gave me a warm smile, and that smile never washed off her face. Never did I encounter the proverbial mother-in-law shenanigans. As far as my mother-in-law were concerned, I was good enough for her son. In all honesty, anybody your son married would have been good enough for him in your eyes, for that is who you were. You found the good in everything and perfection in everyone. You were an angel who graced our earth, if only to show and attest to the fact that one could catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. You were never ever You were ever gracious, ever gentle, ever humble, ever kind, ever sweet, and never ever angry. I remember when your granddaughter and namesake, Ifwadazwa, was being incredibly untenable at almost 3 years old. She had asked you for ice cream, and you had calmly told her to finish her meal first, but she wouldn't listen. I recall now with amusement how you called me at work to announce that Adazwa had climbed up a stool and was just throwing out everything from the freezer in search of ice cream. I was horrified and told you to give her a good spanking, but all you did was laugh and say, "Infanti, oh Belinda, na say to wait, oh Belinda, you know I can't do that. This is who you were. Nothing ruffled you. No matter how egregious or disdainful the action. Your heart was so big, the entire family together with your preset kids and your numerous adopted kids all felt amply loved and special, as if we were each the center of your universe. You knew how to make anyone feel important in your presence. You truly were a rare gem. Nothing made you happier than when you became a grandmother for the first time. I can hear you and Daddy screaming into the phone and wishing you could teleport yourselves to the hospital right away to meet your first grandbaby, Ajwa Fizwa. You were overjoyed when their numbers grew, and you spoiled each one of them whether we approved or not. I remember when you came to help us out when Nemi Ekwafizi was born. You would jump up so quickly with his first coo or cry and race up the stairs to get him. I worried that you might trip and fall, but who was I to stop you from going to make sure your grandbaby was all right? Once he was safely in your arms, you would refuse to put him back down because he may wake up. While we worried that the baby would get used to being held, you sweetly ignored us and continued to enjoy your sport of grandbaby holding. That spring was the best for the kids. You read and sang to them constantly. They still talk about their Nancy stories you told them while you went for walks in the neighborhood. I am so glad and grateful we got to spend last summer with you and look forward impatiently to your return this spring. Mommy, you traveled all right, not to us, however, but to a much better place. If I could be granted one wish, it would be to hear you narrate what happened to you on the morning of December 31st. You had a wicked sense of humor, and so I am half smiling already at how funny and engrossing the story would have been, albeit sad. At the conclusion of the tale, you would explain why you had to journey on that fateful day. My heart hurts at the thought of your absence in our world, but I am thankful for ever meeting you. I'm thankful for the opportunity to show you how much I loved and cherished you. I count it a privilege to have called you my mother-in-law. Now all that is left are the memories that I will cherish forever. We shared a love for writing, and I promised to publish the children's book that we co-authored in 2008 as soon as possible to add to your magnanimous legacy. It was an honor to collaborate with you, and I will be eternally grateful for the impartation of knowledge. Mommy, Papa misses you dearly. The grandkids miss you deeply. Lillian, Nana Kwame, and Aso miss you dearly. I miss you, and Mom misses you greatly. We miss listening to you and Ma have long conversations in 2 different languages. She speaking Ga and you speaking Fanti, and yet nothing will be lost in translation. It was always hilarious to behold. Mommy, night fell and you retreated safely home.
into the arms of the potter, Daddy and baby Andrew. Despite the sadness in our hearts, we will soldier on, if only to make you proud. Until we meet again. Sleep well, my darling mother-in-law, and refer to you.
Shall we humbly raise our feet as we sing the next hymn?
If only she could have seen Aya's speech and see how much fun she had with it. But we know she was watching it all with Grandpa by her side in heaven. Both her and Grandpa will be very proud of the fantastic man skills Nini possesses and of her best artistic ability. We'll miss you very dearly and every day. Afeba, Aya, and Nini.
Short and brief, and that's from Afeba and all the grandchildren as well. Before we're exalted and given a word of encouragement, I'd like to introduce Miss Ayodele Johnson, if you're here. Miss Ayodele Johnson, if you're here now. I'm told after we'll move just 2 steps back. This is actually my favorite part of the program. This is preset. How could I? We'll do Ms. Ayodele Johnson later on, but given, I'm sorry. I'll come to you. Give me, because per-seconds really got this. So I'm going to come to you just a little bit here. See that Mrs. Akyeampong actually taught 3 decades. We thought that it would be nice to do something each decade. And one of our senior boys is here, the president of the Eulogies North American Group. Please give a round of applause for Mr. Sam Addo. And Sam is leading a major effort right now to build a food complex. That's fantastic. Sam, I applaud your leadership, and I know that you have a very special relationship also with Mr. Akyeampong. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This occasion here is very emotional for everybody involved, and officials, I really feel for you. Your mother was our mother. I remember in the early 70s when my year group enrolled at Presec. We were impressionable 11, 12, 13-year-old boys who had left home. Some of us had left home for the first time, and we were basically adrift. Mrs. Akyeampong stood out as a beacon of light. She was a mother. She was superb. She was exemplary. She was everything that we had left home for, and we found her on the Presec campus, and that gave us a lot of solace. This is a seismic event for Presecans, and I want to, in the spirit of Mrs. Akyeampong's literary background, read a little Shakespeare, which is appropriate for the occasion. So, as William Shakespeare eloquently stated in Romeo and Juliet, when she shall die, take him and cut him out, and cut her, in this case, in little stars, and she will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with the night and pay no worship to the garish sun. Rest in peace, Mrs. Akyeampong, and sincere condolences to the Akyeampong family. Thank you.
And Senior Sam came from Atlanta to be with us today. Let's hear it for Mr. Addo. Thank you. In true Presec fashion, we go from the 70s to the 80s. Eric Yaboy, if you're here. Eric. And Eric is joined by Kofi Onu. So they've got an 80s sound. Were you guys like ahead of me or behind me? Okay. So they're behind me, they need to kneel down first. I mean, first of all, come there here, kneel down. Kofi, when you finish, go bring me water. Kofi, don't come here for a second.
You have a bucket.
Listen, stop pretending. We didn't use bad like I said, we use pails, not buckets. So you give me a pail of water. But do us proud.
This is probably one of the most difficult tasks that I've had to do. And I want to sing a song which sort of captures for me what Mrs. Akyeampong meant to me. And I don't even know the full song, but I'm just going to sing maybe a line or two. Okay? Miye nyanyoko, egbe o mile, egbe o mile. Shimo hama koni senge kabo, chakula. Thank you. And it says, and then it goes on. Yes, more.
Kekele bawo mine hamino komaye wale mi mawo. Mi no herita o da chevele kwe monile mile.
Can I say So, the first time that I got to know Mrs. Akyeampong was when I went to Presec. And here was a teacher who was kind beyond words. Someone who was very respectful of the teachers and the students' life. She didn't speak badly of the students or any of those that sort of knew her. And something happened when I was in Form 3. I was a science student and we had to choose a subject for science. I was going to do science, so I had to pick another subject for my O-levels. So I decided I wanted to do literature. There was one teacher who told me I should not step foot in her literature class because I was no good, and she didn't want to see me in her literature class. So I went to see Mrs. Akyeampong and I said to her, I want to do literature, what, do you mind me joining your class? She was very welcoming. And even though I was at Presec for 7 years and had many English teachers, I remember those two teachers, right? I remember Mr. Akyeampong for being optimistic, seeing in each of us the things that we didn't even see in ourselves. I'm sure the other teacher had a point. Maybe I was a terrible student, so I don't begrudge her for those things. But here was someone who was optimistic, kind beyond words. As I got to know Mrs. Akyeampong over the summer and the more time I heard other people's story, I realized that I wasn't sort of the exception. This is the way she was with everyone. Yeah. I'm happy to know today that she was also a hard supporter. So, yeah, we have. When William called the morning of New Year's Eve, I sort of had a sense that whatever story he was going to say wasn't probably the best story, but I couldn't stop him. And I thought of who Mrs. Akyeampong meant to us, who she meant to us. And as I sat at home, just missing and just crying, it wasn't tears of sadness. It was just tears of gratitude for an incredible person and an incredible life. She did not pick and choose who deserved her love or affection, and she gave freely of her love. If she lived 1,000 years, it would have been still too soon for her to go. But a hero's journey must end, and a hero must take her place with the immortal. So, my darling mother, teacher and hero, I love you so much, and what a difference and a blessing you have been in my life.
So I started Presec in '84, and the first time I met Mrs. Akyeampong, Auntie Charlotte, as I later started calling her, was in Form 2. Our English teacher hadn't shown up, and so the class naturally got rowdy, as was always the case in those days. And so she was walking by and stopped in the classroom and said, "What do you have right now?" And we said, "English." And our English teacher was not there, so she said, "All right, all of you open your textbook." She gave us this assignment way into the textbook. I didn't know her name then, and it was on auxiliary verbs. She explained briefly what auxiliary verbs were. We thought we understood, and so she left us with the assignment, and later on the class prefect submitted our work to her, and she quickly marked and returned our books to us. I said, who is this teacher? This seemingly easy auxiliary, nobody got more than 2 over 20. I said, hey, this woman. So, fast forward a few years, I would see her organize the drama group. They would act plays. And then one day in Lower 6, I was walking by one of the classrooms and I saw her in the classroom with the drama troupe and a bunch of people reading from a script. So we stood, me and a couple of our friends, Stephen Addo and a couple of other guys, stood at the window. Those were the open windows. So we stood outside looking in because we were curious, we were fascinated with the auditioning process. She was auditioning for a new play. And all of a sudden, she looked at us at the window and said, you two, come. We're science students. We were biology science students, so she said, come. So we walked in and she said, give them scripts. Reverend Abibu here was the director. Within 30 minutes, we had been drafted and given and that began a long, sweet journey into a whole new world of theater, poetry, good English, exposure to literature, and a wonderful soul. Mrs. Akyeampong, Auntie Charlotte was, for most of us, the mother we wished we had in the house. For most of us boys, the wife we hoped we would marry. I can say honestly that I did not know she had a daughter then. It's too late now. I'm not trying to get in trouble here, but the kind of woman she was, the kind of person she was, not just to us in the theater group, not just to other students, to everyone, parents that she would meet. Mrs. Akyeampong was fixing our college application essays. She was fixing, drafting speeches for headmasters, headmistresses. Her hand was in a lot at Presec. She organized almost everything. Everything that was done with good taste had her hand in it. And I am sure that a lot of you here who went to Presec benefited in one way or another from her advice or her programs, the events she organized. They exposed you to people, they exposed you to professions, they exposed you to travel, they exposed you to higher education in and outside Ghana. I'm going to miss her a lot. And I know she's in heaven writing poetry right now, so I'm not going to say she should rest in peace. She will be writing, which is where she gets her rest, where she gets her peace. And so, Auntie Charlotte, we wish you a wonderful eternity of bliss and no pain and a lot of sugar and a lot of all the sweets and grapes and cake that she wants in heaven she should get, because she deserves it. And that's all I have to say.
Eric, you have worked with you in those two names. She loved you as well. So I'm glad that you could be here to do a little something. And now we move to the 90s. The 90s group is particularly special. I think if Mrs. Akyeampong were here, she would say, I love all the Presecans I taught about the 90s group. It did so much in drama and poetry, the drama troupe. And so tonight, we'll let you honor your mother. Thank you.
The group you see gathered behind us is a small part of a very special group, a subset of the famous Presec Drama Club. And together with a few other patrons and chaplains, this group put together a play written by Mr. Akyeampong that was produced many times in Ghana and in the US. And we collectively put together a tribute that I will read. And then we'll actually perform a couple of songs from the search. In Mrs. Akyeampong's own words, death is inevitable. It will come when it has to. And we, on our part, must live pure and straight lives and be prepared to go any time death calls. 27 years ago, a group of 30 students at the Presbyterian Boys Secondary School, along with a team of professionals, embarked on a dream journey led by Mrs. Charlotte Akyeampong. It would see us deliver a play called The Search in over a dozen performances in Accra and in Toledo, Ohio. It was one of Mrs. Akyeampong's legendary Presec Drama Club productions. The play was most responsible for creating the connections that we developed. The unity and experiences we shared during that time were made possible by the special bond we developed with our beloved benefactor, mentor, and teacher. We, the cast and the crew of The Search, will continue to wrestle with this loss as we mourn and celebrate Mrs. Akyeampong's life and legacy. Madame, as Presecans affectionately called her, was consistently honest, generous, hospitable, conscientious, patient, and kind beyond expectation. Her love and care for her students extended well beyond the call of duty. It was rare for anyone to walk away unaffected after getting to know her. Her wit and creativity produced an impressive array of literary works, productions, and performance art. Until this day, these remarkable achievements have arguably been outdone only by her far-reaching and wide-ranging personal impact on many of us. If you knew Madame, you didn't need to wait long to witness and understand the deep love she had for her husband, children, and eventually grandchildren. Being a member of a drama club meant that one would eventually dine or be entertained by this wonderful family. As much as we could not help imposing and frequently visiting, we knew we were welcome. The connections and affinity we developed with the whole family established lifelong bonds that remain strong today. Although we were not her biological family, she treated each and every one of us like her own children. For instance, one of the drama club girls at the time lived quite far away from school, and the commute became a problem. As the intense A-level examinations approached, Madame and her family graciously took her in, and for nearly a year she lived with them. In her own words, "I felt comfortable and welcome as I did in my own home. I have never been so well received in anyone else's home. To date, the Akyeampong and Newton families have been my family, and my family is theirs." Mrs. Akyeampong was a creative and consummate educator. An excellent teacher as she was, her enthusiasm and wonder about the arts arguably found its most significant expression in the flourishing of the Persek Drama Club. Not content to settle with performing plays alone, her resourcefulness and ingenuity ensured that each successive season of the club's work eclipsed the sophistication and excellence of the preceding year's work. Performances evolved to combine prose and narrative, poetry and music, dance, art, sculpture, even fashion, some adapted, some entirely original creations. The effect was an equally unforgettable and fulfilling experience for participants and performers alike. Although joining the drama club initially seemed like yet another social club in secondary school, she saw something special in each of us. She knew our strengths and weaknesses. She knew how to deal with each of us and our multiple personalities. Whether it was the corny jokers, the instigators, the vocal and dominant, the calm-natured, or the multi-talented ones, she brought us all together. She harnessed each of these skills and turned them into a masterpiece. She took science nerds, business folks, social butterflies, artistic folks, and brought us all together to create a surge. Beyond the core Persek community, Madame also brought together a wider family of colleagues and professionals, and several others who became an inseparable part of the group. And through this journey, she helped us form lifelong friendships and a true brotherhood and sisterhood. We may not be in touch with everyone all the time, but the moment we get together, whether virtually or in person, it really is as if we never skipped a beat. Madame had a heart of gold. Her smile was infectious and would put anyone at ease. She had a way with words that make you feel calm. During stressful examination periods, when any of us would encounter her at school or barge into her home complaining about the stresses of studying for the exams, she would calm us down and tell us in Fancy, "Baby, you will be fine. I know you're ready for the exams." She was protective of each of us, her children, and anytime we would visit, she would pull out pictures and recount stories of our journeys with her. It is amazing how she remembered each of us right from the beginning, even those she hadn't seen in a while. It is not a coincidence that over the years, she played a huge role in most of our life's journeys. Madame made it a priority to be present at our weddings, our funerals, and other occasions. For most of us, she changed our destiny and trajectory in life. After we got the rare opportunity to be part of the Peace Project, an exchange program with the Toledo Excel program in Ohio, several of us returned to the US for studies. For some, it was right after the advanced level program, and for others, it was graduate school. We stand here today acknowledging the fact that Mrs. Akyeampong played a huge role in our lives and contributed to where we are today. Mrs. Akyeampong will forever remain in our hearts as an icon, a mother, a friend, a patron. And this world is a better place because of what she meant and what she accomplished. But not only that, it was because of who she was. And so, dear Madame, in your own words again, your journey is over, your race here is done. Doubts and fears are no more. May you be at rest now. We will now sing 2 songs from The Search. My relics,
Nicely done, The Search, Farewell, Madame. But you know what they say, mothers never go away. Mothers never go away. And I think that's clearly demonstrated by everybody who's speaking tonight and those of you sitting and outside. That's how we carry the love that we have for Mrs. Akyeampong. We're going to have a solo rendition later on. We're also going to have a word of encouragement from our reverend here, both of them, both reverends. But for now, we're going to move. Remember, we're doing the preset thing, so we're going to move along. That was the 90s. We come now into the 2000s. They're more contemporary. Steph. Where is Steph? Show some love for Steph, would you please?
It's actually steps, as in actually footsteps. Yeah, you said steps. don't remember who said the 1990s had the most with Mr. Champ. I think the 2000s did, because we knew. I beg, this one I will claim. I beg, make I claim this. Because her days were, numbered, so I believe we took everything, whatsoever was left. In fact, I've been to funerals, memorial services, and all the time when people are giving tributes and all that, so I wonder, is everything being said really true? Every time, I wonder if everything being said of the person that has passed is really true. And I will stand here and bear witness to God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, that everything, those of us who are not familiar with Mrs. Akyeampong, everything that is being said is absolutely true, to be called. Every single thing. I mean, most presenters had more of an academic relationship with Mr. Akyeampong. I had a personal relationship. Honestly, the only academic experience I remember having with Mr. Akyeampong was, I think, 99, 2000 science and math quiz, and I think it was Presec and another school, I can't remember what school it was, and Mrs. Akyeampong asked who was trailing, and I said Presec, because that was the first time I heard the word drill, and I thought to drill means to trample upon somebody. I don't know. So I said Presec. And then everybody else who, the database who knew what she meant, was like, no, Presec is not. And that was it's funny now, it wasn't funny then. I mean, I'm standing, all these academicians standing in front of them, and I am like, oh, okay. But like I said, I had a personal, beautiful relationship with Mr. Akyeampong. I moved here in 2022, and we had quite a few correspondences, and I fell off for a while. Of course, those of us who have been here for America, you have a brother living like 5 minutes, and you hardly see each other, you hardly talk to each other. So America got in the way, but along the line, I found my way back home. I can say for the last maybe 5 or so years, I've been, talking to her. I when I came back home, I made my voice like, the real American I've become. And I played with her around, and then she finally called on and said, Steps, hey, man, you're rough at it. And I tried again over and over here and there, but she eventually called on, and when I tried, I said, not this time. You're not going to get me. I know it's you. But last time I really spoke with Mrs. Akyeampong, we were on the phone for about 30 minutes. And like I said, for the past 5 years, but the last maybe 6 or so months, I was consistent every month. I remember calling her every single month because I had a Skype account, Skype credit that I buy, and it expires every month. And on the 10th, if I don't use it or lose it. So I made sure whatsoever was left went to Mrs. Akyeampong that month. And I think November, I couldn't call her. And because my mother-in-law had taken ill and my wife used all the limits of her mom. Yeah, forgetting I also had a mom. But it's okay. I I love hairs. So I put in, and then I think sometime in December, it was October, that I called. We spoke for 20 minutes in October. November I didn't call. December I thought I didn't call, but I was going through my call log. Later on I realized I called her on 25th. And I was telling Fisho the other day that I was so mad at myself when I heard the news that how could I not call her? I missed November. How could I not call her in December? Then I realized I did call on 25th, but she was at a function. We spoke for just about a minute and a half. She was at the function. She said she would call me. I said, okay, I'll call later on. I couldn't call again. That was my last memory of Mrs. Akyeampong. And I would come to know way down the line that she actually bore the name of my grandmother, Sarah. And for some reason, I believe that was why I connected to her on a personal level, because I was really connected to my grandmother. And I stand on behalf of 2000, late 1990s, 2000 year group, and we say, fare thee well, Mrs. Charlotte Sarah Akyeampong. Preset has really, really, really lost the greatest of that year. I can say that. I don't know about you, but I would say Preset has lost the greatest of that year, tree in the forest. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steps, for the 2000s. Did I get it wrong again? No. Steps. Steps, good job for that year. And it's true. I don't think the baobab tree has, fallen. I can foresee Achia, not remove the tree. That year, baobab tree. So it still stands. And with Mrs. Akyeampong, we're all inspired to do a little bit more. When you go to work on Monday, remember, the excellence that she visited upon us is what we need to visit upon the jobs that we do. Thank you so much, Mrs. Akyeampong. I have room for just 2 random tributes. I know the people who encountered Mrs. Akyeampong in very different ways. We don't know everyone. 2 random tributes. So if you would like to say something, please let me know. You don't have to do it right now. But I have room for just 2 of them. I also have to announce, if you're looking to come to Ghana to support the Akyeampong family, please remember the funeral in Ghana is March 14. March 14. So if you're coming to Ghana to join us, that would be fantastic. For those of you whose families or friends are asking, remember it's March 14. Maybe you're not coming, but somebody else is coming on your behalf, so you can pass on that information. Lead hand right.
so glad that I had the chance to meet and sit and make Mrs. Akyeampong laugh so hard the very last time that I saw her. My mom had passed about a couple of years ago, and I was desperately trying to hook up Mrs. Akyeampong with my dad, to which she showed resisted. But the last time that I saw her, I just showed her pictures of my dad. I told her how happy she would have been with my dad, who was also an English teacher, who also loved to plant flowers. And I just found out that she had a sweet tooth as well, and so did my dad. Mom was just a beautiful soul and a lovely woman. You just had to meet her once, and she was just your child. As I made her laugh, all she would say was, "Eresi, Awenye Papa." You're rough. But I'm so glad. The last time I saw her, it was just a day full of laughter.
And she's right.
Dear Papa. The second reading from 2 Timothy chapter 4, verses 7 to 8. I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. Henceforth, there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day, and not to me only, but unto all them also that love his appearing.
That was funny. Hooking Mrs. Akyeampong up with your dad. That's good. Release. Obiara baby. Kofi, it's Kofi here. Kofi, is he? He's the dog. You know, Kofi is a younger brother of mine, and I have to tell you, I don't know if Kofi is still looking for a wife, but Kofi, don't use Mrs. Akyeampong as a landscape. No. I know why I forgot that. Kofi, stop. They just don't make them like that anymore. They don't. I mean, look, my own wife is but I'm sorry. They just don't. Look at that. This time that is something else. I mean, but yeah, use it as your, your benchmark. No, don't do that. It is. By the same token, I beg you, phone your dad and say, look, even if they meet elsewhere, please, okay. Adrian, we shouldn't leave you out. So, Motown 89. Adrian came from Canada, those of you who don't know, together with his beautiful wife, Philippa, also to celebrate his event of his mother. I believe they'll come together as well. So, there we have it. And also, let me just acknowledge, I know I talked about Atlanta, I know there's Washington State, Seattle, there is, of course, Utah. Let's, Ohio. Is anyone here from Ohio? New Hampshire, New Jersey. Jersey strong. New York. Connecticut, help me out. Wuhan! Lock the doors. Keep them all right here. We have to. Hey, shut the door. I gotta tell you this. You know the melanin? You know, right? You've heard it on WhatsApp? That coronavirus doctor. Why put a can, but why? Coronavirus, not our state. There was one in Nigeria, but within about 2 or 3 days, they don't find the team. So in fact, when I came in, I said, tonight I'm not going to shake hands. I'm just going to do the punch. Within a few minutes, I found out, so I'm hugging and I'm kissing, and I said, that's how we do it, man. Mr. Charles, no. 1989 year group of Achimota School. But the only thing you cannot see is that whole town is better than Pusek. Don't do that.
I normally don't take off my hat for anybody, but I have to take it up for Madam Charlotte. I flew all the way from California and I just couldn't sit there and not say anything about my good friend Adrian's mom. It's 89, Motown 89, if you're in the house, if you can stand so they can see you. Motown 89 year group, can we stand? I happen to be their president and I'm here tonight speaking on their behalf. There's a lot of people, 89 year group, who wanted to come, but they could not come, but they sent me to come to represent them. So there are a lot of people behind you and you know that. And so we love you because I can see that same love that your mom shares and portrays through you. I'm an eye person, I work with the eyes, and I do a lot of outreach in Ghana, West Africa. And Fisho told me, Junior Fisho told me that one time his mom had an eye problem. And if you don't know, if you want to look into someone's soul, you can look into the soul through the eyes. We who look in the eye every day, we see people's soul through the eyes. If you don't know, I'm telling you now, that's how you can look into it. That's why when you talk to somebody and it looks directly in your eyes, you can see what you're thinking. So I saw Fisho's mom and I looked into her eyes. Just come on looking into her eyes. I saw a lot about this woman just from looking into her eyes. She was a kind soul, she was gentle, and one thing that I regret is I saw her once and I was supposed to go back to see her, and I never got the chance to see her. I was hoping to go back. I'm actually going back this April, and I was hoping to see her, but the news came in December, so I wouldn't get a chance to see her. But I am so glad, that I had a chance to meet her. Just one time, I met her and I'll never forget what she left in my spirit. Because I believe that what she spoke without even speaking was more powerful than what she could even have spoken. So Adrian, we want to tell you that we are strongly behind you, and all those waiting to receive you in Ghana are strongly behind you, and they will make you proud as we have come here to make you proud. And inshallah, we say rest, rest, rest.
Jerry and Seiyu will come up next and give us a tribute to song. And Jerry is a 1994 graduate of Pusek.
Well, he didn't say Colorado, so I'll say I'm from Colorado. So, my first experience with Mrs. Akyeampong was in Form 1. It must have been our first day. And she came into the class and asked all the Muslims in the class. I don't know why she did that, but the way she said it and the way she stood there was such an authority about the way she spoke that caught my attention. Now, over the years, I was one of the most hard-headed, most difficult students that probably went through percent, because you would never catch me where I'm supposed to be at. Not because I was shy, but being on a sofa it was almost as though I'm living in a confused world, because I had to deal with what is at home and what I want to be, which is what I'm not supposed to be. Right? And I don't even know how I ended up in drama group. I can't tell you a story that I had an encounter. She called me up. I probably just walked in one day. They said, "Inko baby, that's not her." And then I found out later that she's actually sister to Pastor Alex. I don't know if you guys, yeah. So Pastor Alex is my dad's best friend from when I was growing. So that's the connection. So because of that, my dad actually made it a point to step up to her to make sure that I was under her thumb every chance she got. Yeah, I never got a chance to see her since I left Ghana. And I went back in 2017, and a lot of family issues, never got a chance to sit with her and talk with her. I talked with her over the phone. And I say this with all due respect to my late mom. Mrs. Akyeampong's brief period in my life affected me more than my mom's over 20 years. Mrs. Akyeampong would just stand there and just look. Hey, oh, Jerry. Those words, if I could hear them one more time. It was nice knowing you. I'm gonna walk away.
That we may each make a little impact, just a little impact on other people, as she did. I mean, if you take nothing away with you tonight, be challenged that you too have it in you to impact somebody. Whatever you do, however you do it, is the one thing that I take from Mrs. Akyeampong. And what's striking about all this is that, I don't know if you guys have thought about it. You know, Presec was supposed to be a science college or something. It's not even a, look, I think France very much more that you produce more lawyers, more theater people, more artists than Presec. So she actually finds herself in a place where ostensibly she can function that well, but she makes it work for her and for all of us. And she creates a drama troupe. And now the boys who are going to medical school, engineering school, architecture school, look, Kofi, for example, is an architect, I gather, not doing IT or something. These guys go like they're everywhere. And all of a sudden, they're part and parcel of this drama troupe. I gotta tell you, I wasn't doing that science stuff at all. So I mean, you can keep that chemistry all you want, or physics, okay? But one of my memories of Mrs. Akyeampong later on, after she had taught me in school, which I fancy, and I love that I was able to do that with her. It was just a beautiful moment. Angelo, Adrian, Linda, and all at the University of South Dakota, all the way in the boonies. And Mommy comes to visit. I think you might have had, Adrian, you might have had a ferry ball or something. So one of those days, and you know, I love theater a lot because of what she had taught at Presec Literature. And so I said, well, and this is an all-white environment. So it's like, we're going into this theater. I said, look, I'm going to get a couple of tickets so we can all watch a play. You know, when you live on ramen noodles in college and you purchase a ticket for your teacher to go watch theater, that's awesome. It's not Broadway. It's not, but it will do. So I'm sitting with Mrs. Akyeampong, just the two of us. I don't know why you went there, you know, but we went to watch this play, and I forget what play it is, but all of a sudden, this other black person, and there's not very many of us, it's a full theater. Maybe if we have 4 black people, we have too many. And this woman is suddenly rattling off what it is that we are saying in the thing. And these folks are just looking at her like, wow, she knows this. Because we're not supposed to know all that stuff, right? But that's the stuff of Mrs. Akyeampong. And she's rattling as the players are going. And I'm watching, I'm proud. And it was my teacher, right? So I can't, but I'm like, hey. You know, everybody's like looking at us. But I said, this woman, man, phenomenal. Just the same thing she did when she came to your classroom. So, that's like one of my very cherished moments of her. Not to talk about last year when she came, you visited New York, we're in Jersey, you're going over. We just connected for a very small, like 2-3 minutes. But that's the last time I saw her. And the love that she radiates, as everyone has said, it continues. Let's have a little solo event here. Can I have Miss Ayodele? By the way, you saw those 2 tables outside? They were not for decoration. No, listen, no pressure. No pressure. They're not for decoration. You can Zelle, you can write checks, whatever you want to do. It's up to you. For the love of the Akyeampong family. Ayodele, are you here? I've held you too long and I really want to hear you. Let's show some love for her, please, would you? It's like
everything we God that you could even steal that song from the world and give it to God. That is literature. Hallelujah. Shall we all bow down our heads just to pray? Father, we thank you, Almighty God, that even under these circumstances you guided all of us. The Lord, you challenge our lives with even this life that we've lost. The Lord God, she who could boldly say, follow me as I follow Christ, we will hear about her and about you, and our lives will never be the same. Therefore, I'll unveil every heart that is here. Holy Spirit, speak through us. Empty me, O God, but pour your presence, your spirit, your understanding. Almighty God, your anointing even into this earthenware, into this clay. Use me to bless your children, that the excellency will be of you and not of any man. This is what we ask in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. My name is Eulogies. This is Akyeampong. Cost me a blow. Amen. In life, you meet a single person and your whole trajectory of your life changes. I am not a student of Presec, but I've known a lot of Presecans just because of this woman. Just one day, I was walking at the School of Performing Arts, and one of my professors called me and said, "You'll come." And I went. Mr. Akyeampong was with this professor, and he said, "I'm sending you to Presec. Do not run away." Why? Because Mr. Akyeampong have decided to do this play, Oedipus Rex. One of the most difficult plays in literature. And has come to Performing Arts, and one of the teaching assistants have decided to go and help with this play at Presec. And the play was going nowhere. And the guy has run away. So Mr. Akyeampong came to the School of Performing Arts looking for one of the professors there to go and help. Whenever she tells them the title of the play, they say, "Oedipus Rex, Oedipus Rex," the professor runs away. So, this professor just used me as a scapegoat and said, "Go to Presec, help this woman, but do not run away." I went, and I realized that play was Oedipus Rex. I wanted to run away, but I've been warned not to. I stopped everything else that I was doing, read and reread and read and read and read the play, blocked it, had dreams about it, and it took, at times I would not even go to class, just so that I could prepare for this play. By the grace of God, when the play opened at Presec, Akyeampong was there, Professor Akyeampong was there, all the dignitaries are laid on that you could find, everybody was there. And the play became successful. And since then, my life never became the same, ever again. I'll walk at Legon, and Akyeampong will stop to have a chat with me. Just because this woman has introduced me to him, that I was the one that saved the play. I will walk around and people will stop and open doors and have conversations and sit down to discuss projects with me. Just because I've worked with Mrs. Akyeampong. So we followed it the following year with Konji's Harvest. That was a play that we were casting that you were at on the window. And you did Oedipus Rex? No, Konji's Harvest. that were casting out the window, and Kofi just walked around and we just pulled him in. The people with the search, they think that it is the greatest, but Chanticleer, I think. Chanticleer was my greatest player. The reason Chanticleer was that after we've done Oedipus Rex and followed it up with Konji's Harvest, Mr. Champo was going to pick another play for us to do the 3rd year. And I said, what about your plays? He said, I don't think it's good. I said, really? What play? You and I, what we have gone through through these 2 plays. What else can we not do? Let us do one of your plays. And he said, well, so she brought it up with a lot of songs and so forth. And Chanticleer was for me, because most of the songs, and so most of the writing of the play, I got to hear it first. And that was a blessing. Amen. Amen. This was a woman that will one day see me and he said, how are you? Did you get married? I said, no. He said, no. I said, why? Because you put on weight. I said, does that mean, say, yeah. When people marry and they're happy, they put on weight. And when I was leaving, I said, I've just met this woman. And Mrs. Akyeampong just thought that I have gotten married. Maybe she's the woman, she's my wife today. Her simple advice to me, and the way that she would take everyone in. It doesn't matter who you are. So today we are here to celebrate a life that has been well lived. A life that has affected a whole lot of people. A mother. But you know, one of the things that I refuse to describe Mrs. Akyeampong with is a teacher. I don't think Mrs. Akyeampong was a teacher. She was a mother that taught her children. Because the moment she comes in contact with you, she does not see you as her student. She sees you as her child. I mean, how many teachers in our lives has ever followed us after school to our marriages? Has followed us after school to deaths in our families? How many teachers in our lives that today could tell you the birthday of your own children and plans to celebrate with you? How many teachers in our lives will come to the US and call all her students? She wasn't a teacher. She was more than that. She was a mother. Teaching was just a platform for her to meet people. And when she met those people, she treated them like her own children. Hallelujah. I picked the scripture, I fought a good fight, and now it's left for me a crown. Because in all my life, I've never seen anybody who could repeat those words but Mrs. Akyeampong. Christianity is a practical religion, but a lot of people have made it so spiritual, and that's the problem that we're having. You have people who pray all day and read and do all that, but when it comes to the practicality of Christianity, when it comes in meeting somebody and showing them the love of Christ, there's no one that lived that life than Mrs. Akyeampong. The word of God says in Matthew chapter 25 that at the end Jesus will separate people into goats and sheep. And then you will tell them that you come into my rest. Why? Because I was hungry and you fed me. I was destitute and you brought me home. I was in prison and you visited me. And the people will ask him, when did we do that? And Jesus will say, when you did it for even the least among you, you did it for me. There's no one that has practically exemplified that scripture than Mrs. Akyeampong. Anyone. Most of the time I had the privilege of sitting down with Mrs. Akyeampong at the place where being rehearsed. And Mrs. Akyeampong would talk about all her students. And she would talk about them in a positive manner. And I got to know that she knew their parents. She knew what they were going through at home. And at times, when during long vacations and all those things, and the teaching that he is preparing with these students were still not enough, she would turn her own home into a classroom and bring them there to eat and study in her whole home when the school itself had closed. This woman was not a teacher. She was a mother that taught her children. Today, if we are here, I just want to encourage all of us. May this life be an example unto us. Listen, Christianity is not just what we profess. It's not a hallelujah and a praises that we just go and lift our hands and praise. Christianity is to meet the least among of us and practically show them the love of God. Christianity is to meet anybody and treat them with the love of God that emanates in you. As I sat here listening to all that everybody said, and said it right, because that was exactly what was going through me. That everything that anybody have said here about this woman is absolutely true. If anything, it is understatement. We cannot ever go above. You know, as a pastor, there have been so many times that I have called to preach at somebody's funeral. And at times I've wondered, Holy Spirit, what should I say? And I've comforted myself with this story. There's a story of this man, a very rich man, and his friend. But they were thieves. And this man went to this pastor and said, please come and preach at the funeral of my friend. I'll give you so much money if only you will say that he was a good person. And this pastor knew that this guy is a thief. And so preaching, he said, well, everybody has his good part. At times, some people, when they are gone, you realize they are best, because even their absence brings peace. Of all that we have said, comparing the dead man with his friend, he is a good man. And at times I feel like preaching such messages. This is the first time in my life that I have looked at a life that I have known. And I've said that I wish that every human being was like this. I wish that every person would have had their relationship with God, would have come to the same understanding, would have come to the understanding that this is how we treat another human being. This is how we love each and every one that we don't choose who God brings into our lives. But when God has brought that person into our lives, we have only one obligation, and we have only one responsibility and one privilege, is to love that person with the love of God. There's no one that has ever interacted with this woman that will say that she did not or he did not feel the same love. And what is funny is that from her own children and to everyone who meets her, everybody thinks that they were the favorite and that they were special and that they have a personal relationship. Steps counts the number of times that he calls her and was sad and so forth. Listen, I'll count the number of times he comes here and he will visit my church. And she will sit in the congregation, and after church service will sit me down and say, bro, you need to use your gift in ministry. I said, no, madam, if I start doing drama, I will not even be able to preach. She said, no. You don't understand. You are uniquely positioned to do God's work in this special way. And I said, I will do it. From there, I enrolled in Boston University to have my professional filmmaking license, just from talking to her. So you are not special. I'm just telling you. That is who she was. That is how she made each and everyone feel who met her. You became special in her presence. She took the time to know you, to care about you, and take that relationship to the next level. Most of us in a search play, our lives will never be the same, because this woman, Mrs. Akyeampong, saw in us. And easily, as you were just standing there speaking, now remember that small boy. But this woman with a loving heart took in the good, the bad, and the ugly, and made all of us, treated all of us the same. So today, this is my encouragement to all of us. Listen, it is possible. She has led a life, exemplary life for all of us. We have been left with that legacy to live our lives according to the life of Mrs. Akyeampong. Mrs. Akyeampong can say to all of us, follow me as I followed Jesus Christ. And she will not have missed a beat, because it would have been true, it would have been genuine, and it would have been sincere. And it would have been from her heart. It would have been out of example and not out of just talking. So tonight, as we all share in this, I'll leave you with this. Christ is coming back, and he's coming back to examine the life that we led. The life that we are living right now. The life. Whether our lives contributed, whether our life lifted the ordinary person up when we met them, or whether our lives were just about ourselves. You come and examine that life. And it doesn't matter whether you be living or dead, that life will be examined. So with the example that we have been given, may we go on and make her proud. But today, deciding that we will never live just for ourselves, but we will live to make another person's life better. To pick somebody up even when they are down, to give a hug, to give an advice, to interrupt somebody's boring life and make a difference. I leave you with this. May God richly bless all of us. In Jesus' name, amen. The family will be prayed for. But I want us in a moment, let's just bow our heads. And as you reflect on this amazing legacy that we have, I want you to make a commitment. I want you to pray and say, Lord, may my life never be the same. Holy Spirit, in this example that you have given us, may my relationship with you never be the same. May the way I treat others never be the same. May I love like you love. May I care like you care. Use me to make a difference in others' lives. Whether the relationship is by blood or it's just by your love, we are all your children. For this is how Mrs. Akyeampong treated everyone as her own child. We thank you, Lord, for this blessing. In Jesus' name, amen. God bless you.
Oh, let's put our hands together. Let's do it better. That was a good word, wasn't it? Very powerful. Thank you so much, Reverend, for such words of encouragement. So we are on to the hymn. I want to ask that we kindly rise to our feet as we sing the hymn, When Peace Let the Rain. It is well, it is well, it is well with my soul. Amen. Amen. Thank you. Shall we take our seat? Hallelujah. The songwriter said that no matter my lot, no matter what may come my way, say it is well. Papa, let's say it is well. Belinda, let's say it is well. Philippa, Myanmar, let's say it is well. It's indeed well. Amen. Well, I have to pray for the family. I wish I could, Belinda. I can't. That's my mother. That's my mother. I believe we've had tributes from children, grandchildren, prosecans, Motaners, and people from all walks of life. But we haven't heard from the other children. We haven't heard from the nephews and nieces, and I don't want them to be left out. So I invited a good friend of mine, a powerful man of God, the assistant pastor of Kodesh Family Church, Hanover, to pray for the family. But before he comes, I have a few words to share in honor of my mother. Amen. For me, to live is Christ, and to die is gain. Philippians 1:21. Beloved, it is very comforting to know that Mrs. Sarah Akyeampong, my beloved auntie and mother, is in heaven today with the Lord Jesus. Amen. Well, many of us nephews and nieces, and I'm a Bentum, and I'm related to the Akyeampongs. My father's younger brother, the one who comes right after my father, is Professor D, the late Professor D. Akyeampong. So I've always been a part of the family. I've been blessed, so blessed to be a part of the family. And I believe that God gave us one of the most beautiful aunties you could ever have. You had a teacher, you had a friend, you had a whatever, but for us, this auntie was the best. I never lived with any auntie to experience any other love, but it would have been different. So I say it's comforting that she is with Jesus. I don't have a single doubt about that, about her present reality. It is not a religious myth, nor wishful thinking on our part. That makes today a day for real celebration. Yes, our hearts are heavy. The thought of her not be around is difficult. But the thought of her, knowing where she is now, brings comfort and peace into our hearts. My beloved auntie, Mommy, as we all affectionately call her, loved God and served her generation faithfully with all her heart. Mommy left much sooner than any of us would have preferred. But when God called, she was ready to go. When I think of Mommy's life, I think of a strong and radiant light, the kind of light that brought joy and hope to those around her. I think of the goodness in her heart that simply brought out the goodness and best in people, and we've heard so much today. That's how strong and influential Mommy's life was. That's how bright her light shone. She has so much love in her for husband, for children, for church, for work, for people. Indeed, God made this one really special. A little bit more special. A woman of virtue, full of life, full of love, full of care, full of joy and a joyful smiles and a joyful countenance. Amen. She was also faithful and dedicated in everything that she did. Mommy was a kind of mother, grandmother, auntie, relative that anybody would wish to have had. She was blessed with 3 fantastic children, as we all know, but she had many more. I stand here as one of them. I lived in the home. There were periods in my educational life that I spent with them. Angela and Yama being my roommates, sharing the house, sharing the food, and sharing the care. Hallelujah. So I stand here today and I'm saddened by such a great loss. If you were blessed to be a part of the Akyeampong family at any time, you knew you were loved. Whether you were an Akyeampong, a Newton, an Ewa, a Benton, a Jackson, whether you are an Akwa, an Eli Boatin, whether you are a Biliakon, an Ishen, whether you are a Osuteri or a Mensa, whether you are an Odro Akyeampong, or of course, whether you are a Lampe, you felt loved. You felt cared for, as much as a son or a daughter, and that's how we felt. 46 little Legon was no little home by any stretch of the imagination. It was large, not necessarily in size, but it was absolutely supersized in heart. Nobody ever left this home without knowing that you were cherished and always welcome. It was truly remarkable how so many lives were warmly welcomed and supported in this beautiful home, seamlessly and effortlessly. Indeed, God speaks to us through the kind of things we do. And for Mommy, I believe that God spoke to her through her love for family and people. I believe that God used Mommy to make an impact and a great difference in the world, and that brought her much joy, fulfillment, and satisfaction. There was a reason, if I may speak to Mommy right now, this is what I would say. Mommy, there was a reason that I affectionately called you Iraba Sarah. For you were really a virtuous lady. There was something about this life of yours that was really remarkable. There was this sense about you, a genuineness, a modesty, and holiness that enriched our lives and the lives of so many others. So today we pray that, Mommy, your passing will help us and remind us that love is truly patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. Love is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. Love never fails. And for Mommy, your love never failed. We thank you for leaving a path for us to follow, for the footsteps that led us in the right direction. May the light from the torch you carry continue to shine brighter and brighter within us. We love you. We miss you. I pray that the Holy Spirit will comfort and guide us and illuminate our minds with these few words. Farewell, Mommy. May the Lord be with you. Amen. So I want to call on Reverend Kobe, if you can help join us as we pray for the family. I would like the family to raise our feet, all of us. Amen.
Hallelujah. Let us pray. You have said in your word that in everything we should give you thanks. So we give thanks for this time too. Thanks that you've given us a wonderful mother. At the right time you have called her.
into glory. Precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of her saints. She, we believe, is a saint, and you've called her into glory. Father, now I lift up my hand and I commit the family into your hands. I ask for your peace. I ask for your comfort. I ask for your help. Even as they travel back, Lord, we ask that your spirit will be with them. Anywhere anybody is traveling from, I pray that you take them, Lord, a joyous time. At the end of it, everybody will go home safely. We come against the plans of the evil one concerning them. No evil will befall any, Lord, even as they go through this time, Lord. Now I want you to surprise them, supernaturally give them money. May they not lack in their lives, Lord. Provide for them, oh Lord, not concerning or from any source that they are expecting. Surprise them. Lord, through this, I pray for strength. Strengthen them. Lord, be their help. Thank you. Now we stay the plate, Lord. I plead the blood as a cover over them, Lord. I hear that you will help them, so help them. Thank you for answered prayer. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen.
I need all the Prosecco's out here. So we'll call Prosec, even if it was for a moment. The Akyeampong have a decision to make. Listen, we don't come to burden you. It's up to you. Because the allegiance is everywhere. Motown, local. This is a school mommy we love with all our heart. Prosec.
Mr. Bampo is not here, so I'll stand in his place.
This is Akyeampong talk, a lot more per seconds here than I'm seeing. Any more? Okay.
All parts.
One. Go. Boss.
All parts.
One, go.
Happy are we, students are we, students of Presbyterian Secondary School. Onward we march, we trudge along to happy victory, to victory, to victory. Our motto is a solid power, pumping us along. Illuminate, to be the beamers lumen. In the light, we shall see light. Illuminate, to be the beamers lumen. For Christian training, foundation, take our places in the future of our country and church. For Christian training, foundation, take our places in the future of our country. Oh, come along and join us. Oh, come along and join us. Happy, studious, away. For Christian training, solid foundation, take our places in the future of our country and church. For Christian training, solid foundation, take our places in the future of our country. Oh, come along and join us. Oh, come along and join us. Happy, studious, away. K2, K4, Akyeampong, away.
So this will be quick. We have a vote of thanks and we'll go grab something to eat. If you're planning to come to Ghana, and many of us will be, March 14-15. March 14-15. Okay, State Banquet Hall, State House Banquet Hall.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Akyeampong, and this has been a beautiful evening. It's as beautiful as the person that we celebrate tonight. I am part of the drama club. I couldn't come up because I want to make sure we captured the moment as best as possible. So, Akko, beautiful job leading the group. I want to share a few remarks and try and close it and make it a comment about Madame's book. Most of the stories that people share here tonight reflects mine and reflects that of a lot of people. I went to Presec, most people go to Presec because they wanted great academics, but somehow I wanted to be part of the drama club. I didn't know Mrs. Akyeampong. Running into one day, the first thing she said to me just calmed me down, and from there, the trajectory of my life changed. Great stories about drama club, lots have been shared, but what I want to share with you are some experiences from not too long ago. About 3 years ago, I was writing a book, and I knew Mrs. Akyeampong was going to be very proud of me because there were parts of the book that were about our life, my life in Presec. A lot of it happened around her, and I knew how much she loved to read, and so I knew she was going to be proud of it. And I thought about letting her get a sneak peek of it, but I thought she might talk me out of some of the things that I was trying to write, because I was trying to push the envelope a little bit and challenging some ideas. And I had a conversation with Kofi Ono, and he told me to share with her. Reluctantly shared it with her and have a video that captured that moment. We don't have enough time to share that video. I might put it on YouTube for you guys to enjoy too. But that was the beginning of a great new chapter in my relationship with Mrs. Akyeampong. She convinced me to leave the manuscript with her, and she read it in 3 days. And then she called me. We talked. She said a lot of very nice things. And I put it on speaker so my teenage daughter could hear. And my daughter asked, "Are you her favorite student?" And I told my daughter, that is how she makes everybody feels. Ladies and gentlemen, I spoke, she read the book, saw many things that I needed to fix in the manuscript. And I would call her and we would talk about grammar in the book, and then we'll pause and have conversations about parts of the book that she didn't even know. And some of you here use VIP to call home. Ladies and gentlemen, I did not know that there were talk limits on VIP. Because there was one Sunday afternoon, we talked, and I ran out of units, put money back on it, talked, ran out of minutes, and then when I called, it would not go through. And so I called the customer service and they said I had exceeded my daily talk limit. And that is a testament to how much Madame would like to talk. Fast forward, that book is done, and I have copies of that book if you want to get a copy. I tell other very good stories about Presec, and you would enjoy. Fast forward, a year ago, I started doing another project. And she asked me, "Are you working on anything?" And I was like, "Oh, matter of fact, I'm working on something that I need you to help me with." And so I sent her a manuscript, and then she read, gave me corrections. And this is a book, some of you might have heard about it. It's a book by the former Black Stars coach, Akyeampong. It's called Leaders Don't Have to Yell. And I worked with her on fixing grammar and fixing a lot of things. Ladies and gentlemen, I could tell a good story, but I'm not that good with grammar. And I lean heavily on Mrs. Akyeampong to fix my grammar. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be reading through things, and I want to leave because it's morning, it's 7:30, and I'm trying to get to work. And she's like, oh, yeah, and she loved to read, she loved to talk. And so this December, I was in Ghana, and I visited her on December 26th. The book was supposed to be launched on December 28th, but it was postponed. But I got a chance to visit with her on December 26th and gave her a copy of the book. Ladies and gentlemen, the pleasure on her face was phenomenal because she loved books, and one of the things that she told me to tell the coach was, this is the perfect example of things that we need to do as Ghanaians, tell our stories. Madame is very fond of telling the stories telling our stories. And so she was extremely proud of this project, and I'm so glad that she got the chance to see a copy before she passed on. I was actually hoping that she would be at the book launch so I would speak about her, but it didn't happen. So I shared in a video during the book launch my gratitude, but I want to, on behalf of all of us, thank you, Adrian, Paco, Adeline, and all of you for sharing Madame with us. I'm a teacher's son, so I know what it is like for other people to be a part of your family, but in your case, it was extreme. Extreme. There were people who didn't even go to Presec, but because they knew us, they became a part of the Mrs. Akyeampong clan. And you guys welcomed us into your family like nobody else has. So thank you. Thank you. She will be so proud that we do this. We celebrate her in this beautiful way. And thank you for being here. Now I want to say one more thing. Come on. Madame has several plays. And 3 of them, actually 2 of them are published. And I didn't do it. My brother helped her do this. There's another one in the works. And Belinda has a book with her. We're going to make these books available. I want to encourage you, buy these books, invest in them in a way that it will encourage the teaching of literature to continue. I have about 6 of these books with me. I have other books with me. If you come up to me and you want to buy some, I will make sure you get one. But with Madame's books, whatever you want to give for the 6 that I have with me, we'll take it. Because after a year, we'll be in conversation to try to figure out what we are doing in Ghana to preserve and extend her legacy. Because this life continues, the Mrs. Akyeampong story will be told for years to come, and it will take your support. So thank you very much for being here.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. We've heard from family. We've heard one thing that's missing. I don't think we've heard from a colleague. And so as I went outside, I'm just going to use the restroom. I bumped into one other of our teachers from Presec. So as if you haven't had enough, I do want to have Mrs. Okra. Mrs. Okra, I have 30 seconds to a minute. Mrs. Okra is one of our English teachers to no less at Presec. And so as we celebrate Mrs. Akyeampong, I think it's fit that you too share with us from a teacher, a co-teacher's perspective, very quickly, and then we're going to go to vote of thanks, and then we can meet.
Good evening. I am happy to share this evening with you. When I finished my national service at the Government Secretariat School, I was lucky to start work teaching at Presec under Mrs. Akyeampong, who was my head of department. She wasn't just my head of department. She was very nice, very accommodating, very welcoming, and I was lucky to work with her. We worked in the classroom, we worked at home, because she would come to my house sometimes, I would go to her house sometimes, and she extended the department to our homes. Everything that has been said about her is true. She was a lady through and through. She was gentle, she was kind. She liked to throw in fancy here and there all the time. She had a good command of the language, but she did not forget the Fanti. So she would tell me, Adwa this, Adwa that. And I was really upset to hear her passing, because she's one person who, over the years, each time I go to Ghana and I run into her, I realize that she hasn't changed much. Some of our colleagues have changed a lot, but she's one person who remained almost the same as I knew her in Presec those days. But I know that we cannot question what God wants with any one of us, and may she rest in peace.
Mrs. Belinda Akyeampong. We also want to acknowledge our able pianist, Mr. Fifi Ando, very good job. And one other thing, there are actually 3 tables, not 2. One of the tables has a lovely book that you sign in. Please make sure to note your condolences in there for the family. Thank you.
So as Angelo and Adrian walk down the aisle to wave at you all, as a sign of their gratitude for you being here today, I stand up here on behalf of the Akyeampong family, the Newton family, the entire family, to say thank you. Thank you, a very fervent thank you to you all. You came from far and wide, north, south, east, west. Words are not enough for us to say thank you for the support, the love, and the encouragement you've shown us at this time. When morning comes and God grants us mercies, please let our thank you reverberate in your heart and your soul. Thank you. May peace be with you all. Please don't leave yet. I know we've kept you here forever. We have some refreshment in the back for you. For those of you who drove, who thought about you, some might want to drive back tonight. There's coffee. Please get some before you hit the road. There's tea there. There's hot chocolate. There's soda. There's water. Okay? So we're going to have Pastor Eulogies give us a benediction, and then we are free to mingle. Mrs. Akyeampong, thanks you.
Shall we rise? To you who is able to keep all that we've entrusted, to you who is able even to bless us, may peace and grace be multiplied unto us by your divine power. The Lord God, our lives today and forever may never be the same. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. God richly bless you. The service